All right. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for. Okay. All right. So, thank you so much, guys, for coming and welcome. This is a documentary that is being produced to bring the spotlight on Old Mutare. And how we have decided to do it is by producing a book which is called Tales of Old Mutare, Volume 1. So this discussion that we are having today with these fine gentlemen in their lovely attires, all products of Old Mutare, Hartzell. And I hope you are all happy to be here. Are you all happy?
Oh, yeah.
We're all happy, yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Thanks for setting this up. It's a real honor, and I wish we were more. You know what they say, the more the merrier. But I'm sure whatever the crux of what we were trying to achieve here today will come out. Yeah.
Wonderful. My name is Ndingaite Chris Mbere, and you can introduce yourselves.
My name is Alex Mavunga.
And maybe say when you were old.
I was at Hartzell 94, 95 when I did my A level. I knew a lot of people there, so I was also more like a mission work because I used to go and play there with the likes of Ndinga's brother Farai and Vimbai and many others. So yeah, it was.
But were you not at Hartzell earlier than that?
I was before,
yeah.
But I was not really there. I think when I was really there was when I did boarding school.
Okay.
When I did my A levels, yeah. That's how I feel like when I was
really there.
part of everybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
When were you really there, Peckins?
Okay, my name is Peckins Mayati. I passed through Hartzell mission from 98 to 2002. I did my grade 6, 7, Form 1 and Form 2 there. Then I moved away to another school. But still, my heart holds Hartzell or Old Mutare very dear. Thank you.
Thank you, Peckins. And
My name, my name is Vimbai Dariko. I was born. Let's skip that. My name is Vimbai Darikwa. I was born at Old Mutare Mission, from nursery school up to A level. I was at Old Mutare. Yeah, and then after several years, I went to uni in Harare, University of Zimbabwe, and then I went back to Old Mutare to do my graduate studies at African University. So I'm an Old Mutare through and through.
Thank you. I was really there at Old Mutare from 1975 when I was born there. I grew up until 2002. I was basically still at Old Mutare. I took my primary school, high school, before I left for University of Zimbabwe. My parents were educated at Old Mutare, Hartzell.
You didn't tell us your name.
Okay, my name again is Ndingaite Chris Mbere, and my parents were students at Hartzell in the 70s, or maybe from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and my grandparents, and also I think one of my great uncles also was there from the start of Old Mutare. So yeah, it's a place that we all hold dearly.
Oh yeah.
And what we are hoping to do today is to enthuse you about this book, because that's what this is about. This book is available on Amazon. It's also available in Zimbabwe, and we're going to tell you who and how you can get the book in Zimbabwe. So the background to this book, what happened, or I'll just give a brief background. Sometime in the year 2021, myself and Wimbai's brother Tariro Oswald Darikwa, we were having a conversation, and we were discussing about Old Mutare. And out of our discussion, we were reminiscing the time that we were at Old Mutare. And in our discussions, we lamented some of the changes that are there. And we were saying, oh, why is this like this now? Why is this like this now? But then we thought to ourselves, a lot of people, when they go to Old Mutare, they are just critical of what is going on or what is happening. And no one, and sometimes when you're always just criticizing, you don't generate positive energy.
Yeah.
Even the people who are now living in Old Mutare, nobody likes hearing people coming and just saying, oh, this is bad, this is wrong. So we thought, no, let's do something positive. Let's contribute to trying to bring new energy into Old Mutare. So people look at Old Mutare not from a perspective of how things have changed from what they remember.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yes. But they think, okay, someone took Hadzo from 1878 when it looked the way it was background to where it is today. So we can look at Hadzo from where it is today and think, let's do something that 100 years from now will make this school, this mission, a more prosperous place with greater impact in Zimbabwe. So how to go about doing it? There are many projects done by groups such as HOSA, the UMC Church, which runs Old Mutare, and all these places, institutions that play a part in making Old Mutare and Hadzo be what it is. But we ourselves, we thought, let's start this project of producing books that tell stories of what Old Mutare is about. So we embarked on a project of collecting short stories of people remembering how they lived, what their experiences were, and we compile them, we make a book, and that's the process that happened. And then we've got a book, which is this book, which was published on the 10th of December in 2024.
Yeah.
So that's this book, that's what we have.
Yeah, so if I understand you well, you're saying there was a perception that people were looking at it from reminiscing or looking at how great things used to be, therefore with this connotation that things might not be as great now as they used to be. But what you're trying is to promote a drive where people can look at it from a positive perspective, whereby you're looking at celebrating the great moments, celebrating the history of Old Mutare, looking at it from that positive perspective, and then putting in something like these books that you're going to come up with. Is that correct? Is that what you are trying to do?
That's correct, Alex. That's a very good summarization of one of the inspirations behind it. Yes.
Maybe let me just come in to say, when we started this project, people were, some were skeptical, so this is really to tell people out there that it can be done, and we've done it. And some of the criticism that we're getting from this book was it's too mission kids centered. So now what we're going to do is to go into volume 2. We're going to invite more people, students that have been at Hadzo for the longest. I mean, from way back. So we're going to have, and I'm believing that we're going to have this thing is going to morph into other volumes, volume 2, volume 3, and we want it to take its own course. I believe it's going to develop a life of its own. Because they're going to be stories from maybe those who were at Hadzo maybe in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, way back, and we're hoping, and we owe it to the generations that come after us, to put it in writing what really transpired at Old Mutare, and so I really believe that this is just to show people that it can be done, and hopefully this will whet the appetites of people to write. and maybe right from the onset is because people kind of shy away from writing. So what we're saying is, if you have a story that you want to tell, you can send in an audio format, and then we will then use our transcribers to capture that into word, and then So we're really hoping this is going to.
So if somebody asks a single question and they say they wanted a single answer, what is the purpose of the book or the volumes that we know we've got volume 1 now, and the idea is to go on to volume 2, and you're saying you're going to come with this other idea where people can contribute. But what is the purpose of the book?
Well, from where I stand is if we generate enough interest, there'll be more stories and more volumes and more copies sold, and that money will then go back to Hartsel to fix the things that we're complaining about.
Okay. Yes. So the purpose of the books is to generate income.
Not just income. The first thing we want to generate is to capture, the stories, the invaluable, stories that come out of Hartsel. There are many and plenty, and I mean, it's a gold mine.
So that one is like another very important secondary purpose.
It is. Of course, in the process, money will be generated.
Yeah,
and
but
this is what we're hoping. Yeah.
You also want to capture all these wonderful stories.
Yes.
So that they are not lost in time.
Yes.
In generations.
Yeah.
Generations to come in the future will be
able
to
and
read.
like I mentioned, we owe it to the people that come after us. That come after us to really explain where we came from as people, and where we went to school, the stories that we would love to share. And I mean, there are many. I mean, imagine the thousands of people that have gone through Hartsel. Every person has a story to tell, 1 or 2 stories to tell. Imagine how many volumes that is going to come out of that.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's.
Because you said, imagine if you wanted. When did health? Do you know when Hartsel started? Old Mutare.
1897.
1897. So at the moment we know that we can't get people to contribute from 1897.
But fortunately for us, there are people alive today with information that needs to be captured.
Yes,
you
but
know,
what they are
like
doing
the
now,
likes of maybe I may not be able to right now to mention names, but there are people that we know that have so much information about that. So
But what you are doing now is going forward. You create a legacy. You create a situation where you could, it's volume 1 to volume.
Whatever. The sky is
so which means from what you are creating a benchmark from now onwards. You can't have a situation where you say now we cannot interview the people to get the stories, because there will be volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, even volume 10 when we are all gone. The other generations will continue.
It becomes
like a time capsule. It captures everything. It's captured.
It's very important. I'm sure Perkins can mention some stories that he found interesting in the book.
For starters, reading this book was an experience. It was also an eye-opener, because I passed through Hartsel as a boarder, and you, of course, were residents in the same place. But some of our experiences, they just interlock, because for starters, there's this issue about the basketball courts.
Yes.
I think even up to now, that's the most famous place ever at Hartsel. From the time students are coming out of their break from the DH, from the time people are waiting for their lunchtime meals at lunch, people are always milling around the basketball court area. We also have a lot of influential people who came out of Hartsel who were so much invested in basketball, and some of them went overseas and made an impact there. So that place is like, I don't know which other name I can put on it, but it's the life vein of Hartsel. That's where most of the social interactions occur. Most of the time when people are doing sports, there's a basketball court, and adjacent to it there's a volleyball court. During the time I passed through Hartsel, the basketball court was very popular. I, for one, I did both basketball and volleyball.
Okay.
Coming into Form 1, I was in the Form 1 team. We did the Form 1 competitions with Boys Eye, other schools around Mutare. So basketball was my thing. But then, towards the end of the year, the school team, the volleyball team, they came second nationally.
All right.
So people were now divided between volleyball and basketball.
All right.
And so, me being me, I didn't want to miss on the fun. So
Okay.
I started doing both basketball and volleyball. So those are some of the things. But there's another dimension you brought out in the book, that the elder brothers would play whilst the youngsters were fetching the ball for them. The same thing also happened during our time.
All right.
Because you'd know that there was the A team, there was the B team.
Yeah.
So if you are coming in, trying to join in the ranks, you'd start from scratch, and then you'd be the ball collectors,
Yeah.
tossing back the ball,
That's
maybe
from the
praising
story. The story from Tapua,
Yes.
Tole and Wimbai, because you wrote a basketball story as well.
Yeah, I
Yes.
read a little bit
So
about
those-
basketball. Yes.
Yeah, you can tell us more about it. How was
they
the
used
situation
to end up
at that time?
fighting there and doing all kinds of things. The big boys, you know.
I'm trying to think what story maybe would kind of like capture the essence of basketball at Hadza. I think I remember writing in the book that we really owe it to Coach Ted DeWolf, who really introduced the sport to Hadza.
Yeah.
He really went out of his way. I mean, he bent his back backwards to right from the setup. I remember as a little boy seeing him, welding, those
columns.
those columns and the hoops and all that. I mean, the guy was dedicated from day one until we had that basketball court, and its proximity to the boarding school, to the boarding facilities also ingratiated the sports to a lot of people, and he would always make a point to make sure that there were a few balls at the basketball court, so anyone could play basketball, and it was an amazing sport. So it united people together. And I have a fun story. Sorry to interject. There's a fun story I can maybe share right now of what transpired back then. See, as the sport of basketball, grew in Manicaland, a lot of schools were coming in, and so there was a rural school that had also introduced basketball. So they came to Hartso to play our senior team. So because Hartso's standard was very, very high, Coach Ted told them, you can't play our senior team. And they're like, they're looking down upon us. You can't even play our junior team because our standard of basketball was way, way high. So what he did was to call, just your
Random passers.
Random people. They gave them uniforms, and then they played that school, and they beat them. And these guys could not believe it. They were like, no, this is
I wanted to say, I used to, because I was very athletic.
Yeah.
So I used to play football, and then when I tried to play basketball.
Right.
But at the time I was very tiny and I couldn't really play against you big guys. But my brother, my late brother Simba, he was very, very strong and
Very
he
competitive,
played he was very competitive with Paul Gumbere. And they were the young ones. You were the big guys with Donachenji, Wanani, and Gwinyai, a lot of these guys, Nyaradzi, and it was really tough. It was a no holds barred. Especially 4 p.m.
During the holidays, it was great.
It was
and the rest of us would just be watching from the
because
the
like,
terrace.
I myself, I was like an outsider coming into this Fairboard mission school. And you got these mission guys like Wimbai, Gwinyai, Simba, even Stewart. These guys. So you walk up to the basketball coach, and then you see these ordinary guys, but the level at which they are playing and what they are, the skills they are showing. So it was so wonderful, but at the same time, it was so bad for some people like us because you just get discouraged. You don't even want to try to join because it was
But you see, this
how could I
conversation,
even join these guys?
this conversation is actually capturing our time. There were people that great, basketballers, before our time.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
students who would play against established Mutare basketball league. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They would play in the league and they would win. You know. I mean, if I start mentioning names, I'll probably spend the whole afternoon, just talking about. But like I mentioned earlier, we owe it to these great coaches that we had. Yeah.
And I think it's another aspect about the book that we tend to always think of Hadzo or Old Mutare in the era that we were there, and we do not even think that someone like Perkins, you came after all of the rest of us. We were not there at all, and there's Hadzo students, Old Mutare residents right now, who do not know that we used to swim in the swimming pool.
Yes.
That it used to be a place of fun.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go there. Its story captured in there. And we used to have great times when weddings were done, the meals were prepared. There's one story by Rudo Chifamba, Rudo Chifamba, Ni Kanjamba. Yes. She's got a good story about weddings, because one thing about weddings was nyama yacho inaka. The meat was very good.
I think I know the secret why the meat was so good. Bringing back the wedding issue, I don't know, for some reasons, weddings, some people would plan them during the holidays, of course, that's the normal, but there are other people who decide to wait during school days. I was lucky enough to experience 1 or 2 weddings at Hudson whilst I was a boarder there. Just like it was explained in the book, after the nuptials have been done in the church, the people would travel to the DH. That's where the meals would be served. And for sure, believe you me, I had a taste of the famous beef you're talking about. It's second to none.
It's second
I
to
tell
none.
you.
I don't know how they did it.
It's so delicious.
Good. Yeah. It was so, I think it was because it was freshly.
I think those big pots, there's a secret.
That's what you were saying.
Off camera, I was saying there's something about food that is prepared
on the fire.
On the fire, not just on the fire, but in huge. I don't know what it is, but it just makes the food.
There's a guy here in the UK who's got that pot. This guy is passionate about beef. He says when he starts telling you about how different the meat will be if you cook it in that pot. He tells you the science behind it. To realize that. I think but it's not just the meat. For me, I remember, we used to go, when we were boarders, we used to go to church on Sunday, and then that every Sunday after church it's going to be chicken.
Yes.
Chicken was so nice.
It was a special Sunday dinner.
Once.
Once a week.
Yeah, after church on Sunday. Yeah, it was so delicious. And sometimes you wonder, was it so delicious because we're not having a lot of it? Or it was really there was something special about it, the way it was cooked. The way it was cooked, because the fact that they were road runners, all these kind of chicken that we
genetically modified.
Exactly. So it's good days. We had some nice days there.
Yeah, it was.
Then there's this other thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah, on the first day I went to Hudson, I went there with my mom and my cousin brother. They escorted me to school. In those days, public transport used to be the in thing in the country.
All right. Yeah.
So we disembarked at the big gate outside at the bus stop.
Yeah.
Then we did the long stretch walk.
Yeah.
That goes past the pastor's residence. Then we turned left. I was going for grade 6, remember? So our hostels are the first to the left when you get to that intersection where the right turns to the tuck shop, past the church, and then the left, it goes past the primary school to our right. Then we turn right on the next turn. So on that long stretch, I didn't know I was going to be left there by myself. I thought I would be left with my cousin because we're basically the same age. So made that long stretch, and my mom, being an African mom, she was telling me, you should be well behaved, you should study hard, you should do this and that. Don't bring our name into disrepute. Just be the best that you are. You see, those kind of things. What was your experience going there for your lower 60 form? Did you go by yourself? Did you go with a parent, with a friend?
Myself, it was a bit of a unique. I started really at Form 4, but it was a bit unique because I was staying with Third Wolf.
Okay.
So it was a very totally different kind of experience. I remember getting to Hadsel, and you could see that you were with Tanya. And Tanya, everybody knows Tanya, and nobody knows me. And I remember walking down the corridors.
Yes.
And it was so special, something so. I can't even find ways to explain the way I felt walking in those corridors first time, feeling like wow. And it was surprising to see guys like Farai or Ondinga. They were used to those places, you see, because every day they would walk from their house to the basketball court. For me, it was different. It was very special. I knew I had to be well behaved. There was tension inside me all the time. It took me time to really get to relax when I was walking around that place. It was not easy for me. Because for me it was so special. So I guess it will always be like that with many people. I think the way you feel when you're at a certain level will be. I think it depends on how much used you are to the place. I remember when I was still when I was a boarder. I used to want to get to the mission school and play with Farai. Ndinga's dad was very good in draft. I was a super in draft.
All right.
Yeah, the only person whom I could play against was your dad.
All right. Yeah.
So your dad used to, so I would go to your house, and then something special that Ndinga's dad used to do. He would say, okay, he brings the draft on the table, and we start playing 4 or 5 games, and then after that he says, can you bring that paper and pen? And then he says, Gino. And if you hear him saying Gino, he's starting to teach me a calculus or anything. So I was ahead of a lot of people in mathematics because I had private
personal tutor.
private tuition from the master. For me, he was. I would regard he was one of the best mathematics teachers that I ever. Because the way he was approaching it, I don't know, but it's a heavily opinionated. And then the other thing that I just wanted to say is like when I was coming in, either coming from town, if I got dropped at the main bus stop, or if I got dropped at Fricks. Sometimes I would be wearing some nice shoes, brand new shoes. Sometimes but some of them maybe techies that are white, with white parts. I wanted to get there to your house, and I also knew there was earlier on there was Gertrude. There was what was the name of that guy who was doing the mission guy. You left soon after. I think maybe a year after I arrived. What's the name? Who used to live with these two guys, Dalitso and Saotso. Reeves.
Yes.
Yeah. You were still there. They were good friends of mine. So Reeves.
Yes.
So Dalitso and Saotso were also very good friends. So I wanted to get there looking nice, but it was a struggle. The soil was very red.
All right.
The red soil of Old Mutare.
By the time you get to your house,
You make a very nice story. I mean, I'm sure in the ensuing volume, someone can
Talk about the red soil.
It's a red soil of Old Mutare, because everyone is I'm sure everyone has a story to tell about those, especially during the rainy season. And those days before the tide rose, my friend, that was terrible.
It was terrible to walk from there because you want to get to the main center looking nice.
Yeah.
But it was such a struggle.
Yeah, it was something else.
Yeah.
It was really something else. Yeah.
Oh, it was a lot of different stories. The story what you mentioned about the tension you felt when you were walking through there. There's a story in there by Ndoji Kamangira where he mentions the Paira. He says there was a sort of aura of sacred aura because you couldn't do certain things. Certain alcohol was not allowed at the mission for one, and I don't think I was just talking to my wife one time and saying, I don't remember parties until the one that you guys introduced. You know, the end of year.
There used to be parties in terms of they used to be called Christmas parties. But they were not like the one you're talking about,
where people gather at someone's house. You know, like today here, people can just gather for someone's birthday. I don't remember that for grown-ups. I don't remember people having barbecue, the whole villa section. You know,
it was unheard of.
That sort of thing.
But let me ask you something very interesting. You guys were born sort of. You were there most of the time of your childhood. Did you feel that that heaviness, that presence of something special at all?
No, because we were born there. That was the normal for us. It was normal.
So for us, we were like it was anything. So the stories in there of all kind of shaba or naughtiness.
I remember when I was going, like when we were going to the church.
Yes.
Oh, the church was so special. Because it was the floor was like that, isn't it?
Yes.
It was like a stadium.
Slanting towards the altar.
Yeah. And if you were walking from walking in, and your seat was towards the pulpit.
Yes.
Oh, it was like a 1,000-mile walk. It was a walk of faith. Everybody, you feel like everybody's gaze is on you, know, and you are aware of all this. Bright students and all these sports persons that are looking at you. You feel like all their eyes are on you, and yet they are not. And then you sit, and then you had there's this song that I liked so much. It was a very popular song that was used to be sung up there. It's, they will be singing when the choir was singing. They will be doing things. It was so spectacular. And
Mr. Chambara was.
Mr. Chambara was Mr. Chambara was so dedicated.
Mr. Doja, Mr. Zingo, they were all involved.
They were very
Okay, you raised another point there. When I was doing my grade 6, I joined the Hartsel Primary School Choir. And apparently, Mr. Chambara was also our choir master.
Oh, right.
The way you were explaining it all just go back to me now, because with Mr. Chambara, the way he was singing, you wouldn't just sing from the mouth. You had to internalize the whole song, singing it from your heart. Even your bodily actions would be in sync with what you are feeling from the heart. So, obviously, the church choir had more of the secondary and high school students because of obvious reasons. So, whilst the choir was singing, as you were explaining just now, in our days, they were wearing these gowns. Were they putting the same during your time?
Yes,
there was
but
this
I'm
choir.
not sure the colors were the same.
Yeah, there was this choir uniform. It was a very big gown, colorful, and then it was also arranged according to maybe the part you are singing. Those who sang tenor had their own distinctive color. Those who sang soprano, alto, you name it. And then the bass, I think I remember they were putting on, was it a black gown? with some shades of other
I
colors.
think that's now your generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over the years, the colors will change. And, yeah.
Yes.
But I think the special mention should be accorded to Mr. Chambara.
Yeah,
Mr.
definitely.
He,
yeah.
he was he's an amazing composer, and I don't know the
He had amazing English as well.
yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I remember a nephew of his, joking about how he would Elisha. You remember Elisha?
Yes.
How he would call him, and and the way he would insist on students pronouncing some certain words.
Yeah.
Like the famous one, you would say, you don't say I'm going home.
Yeah.
You say I'm going home. he
was very particular.
yeah, he was an amazing gentleman. Yeah. And just speaking of him again, I remember my last conversation with him. At that moment I was teaching at Old Mutare. I was teaching for a season at Old Mutare, and we just finished our usual Sunday worship service, and so he came over to where I was standing, and he was like, you never know, one of these days you'll end up in in the UK or some other place. Don't worry about this, And I was like, it's nowhere near I'm not even thinking about going abroad. I'm okay here, but I understand what he meant. He was like, you're well educated, and here you are doing a teaching job, and but it was really his way of just encouraging me, But here am I, overseas, but so. Yeah, that was a prophecy from him.
Yeah, he was prophetic.
One of the greats is definitely one of the greats.
Yeah, there's so many different, but you can't capture everything because.
Yeah, this is why we need to have volumes
Volume
2,
two,
3,
yeah.
and
Volume three.
I think we should capture. I mean, even in this recording, is that we don't want to be the owners of this project. We just like the initiators, and I really believe that this project is going to take a life of its own. Maybe 10 years down the line, there will be other people, but we want the momentum to increase, and we want it to capture different aspects of the mission, and hopefully, like we mentioned earlier, is that there's gonna be some money that's gonna come through. And then maybe we can start thinking about building maybe a laboratory or houses for teachers. Who knows? As many as we are as Old Mutare or Hadzo High School students, we need to really get together and really come together and really contribute to this project. I think it's a really noble project. Yeah.
On the commercial side of it, this book is £9 in UK, £9.99, and in Zimbabwe it's $15. The money we are hoping to be able to raise money that will go some way towards the maintenance of Old Mutare, because that's one other thing that inspired us to write this book, to do this project, because a lot of the attention sometimes is on the religious aspect of Old Mutare, the clergy, the United Methodist Church, and a lot of focus is on the students and the school itself. But over the years, what I have noticed, and being somebody who grew up in Old Mutare, is very little focus is ever put on the workers, on the people that have made Old Mutare function the way it does. And that's why we have initiated the book from the standpoint of the people that lived, were born, grew up at Old Mutare.
Yeah.
It's the initial. It's this book, because some of the questions or feedback we've got is, this book is just about the children who grew up at Old Mutare. No, it's what we've started from one end of the whole prism, but we are hoping that we expand it to include the school, the clergy, any aspect of Old Mutare. But like I've just said, the contribution of the workers, when I say workers, I'm implying the staff at the hospital, the staff at the school, the staff at the nursery school, and the security people, the cooks, or the, what's the correct word to say?
The chefs.
The chefs, or the caterers, or
maybe non-academic staff.
The non-academic staff.
Even the groundsmen.
All the groundsmen, the janitors, all of those people who were doing all these things.
Critical roles they
yes,
played.
And every Sunday they'd be the ones in the church, apart from the students. They would sit at the back of the church and Magari, my residents,
and build community.
That's the community of Old Mutare. The phenomena that would happen is during school term, the mission was a hive of activity. But during holidays, there was a marked drop in activity because the students are gone. Even as students, we felt quite lonely at the beginning, and it was quiet. But then after a few days, 2-3 days,
you go back onto your ways.
That's when people started going to the basketball and having our own activity. But I think that focus on the life that was there at Old Mutare, without, before you, or apart from just considering the school and the hospital, there is the community around Old Mutare. And that's where Volume 1 was focused. And it covers stories from 1964. That's the story that kicks off the book by Dr. Ralph Miwatiwa, right up to the 2000 or the late 90s.
Late 90s.
Late 90s. I think that's the era that Volume 1 covers. But Volume 2, Volume 3 will cover probably maybe the same era or
but
before,
different
different aspects. And Volume 2 will probably have contributions from former students, from staff, former staff. There are people like the DeWolfs. One thing through research, as we're doing this promotion for Volume 1 and for Volume 2, there are things that I didn't know, that if I told you, you probably didn't know. Like most people didn't know that Mutare Boys High, Mutare Girls High, and Hapsol are sister schools. I didn't know that.
I only got to know about it when you told me off camera.
I didn't know that they're sister school. Both.
But you need to explain how they are sister schools, because it doesn't make sense. I mean, from just looking at what things are.
So when Old Mutare was established by Bishop Hadsall, when he came in 1897, after becoming a bishop for the Africa, was appointed Bishop of Africa by the Methodist Church, American Methodist Episcopal. He was offered this land by Cecil John Rhodes. Cecil John Rhodes had been given this land by Chief Mutasa through Saungweme, who was the local headman or the local chief of that particular area, Chiremba. So, but the deal was, Bishop Hadzo was coming saying, we want to build a mission outreach to Africans. But the British colonizers, through Cecil John Rhodes, were like, we will only let you build a school for Africans if you build one for Europeans.
As well.
As for Europeans as well. So then Bishop Hadzo then set up so that one missionary came to establish the school that later became Mutare Boys Eye, Mutare Girls Eye. And also the other missionaries who then started Hadsell. Hadsell Mission. Yes.
Oh so yeah, it's quite a fascinating story.
That's where.
And I know a lot of people don't know. I had absolutely no idea until you told me.
So the boys, Mutare Boys, Are they
well,
United Methodist?
Yeah.
No,
No,
they're not
they're
United
Baptist,
Methodist,
yes.
but their origin, when they started,
Oh, right.
it's even on their website.
So
So I
they
think-
started
oh, yeah.
out as United Methodist then, and then they became.
There's a
Okay.
whole
No.
mishmash. The Anglican Church was involved and
Okay.
so on, but it was started by United Methodist. It was before 1968. It was called American Methodist. Yeah. So then after that, then it became United Methodist. But anything that happened before 1969, it was American Methodist Episcopal. So Mutare Boys Eye had I think it was called Amtali Academy or something like that, and then it became up in the 50s. Then it became Mutare
So
Boys Eye.
I've got some questions about this project. Can I ask?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. You are at liberty to ask as many
So,
questions as you want. Yeah.
Going to volume 2,
Yes.
what is it that we are looking at? Are we looking at people contributing stories, or you are open to much more like factual, writings or pieces? For example, we talked about this legendary basketball team that one. I don't even know. I think that for me, I think 93, 94, 95, especially 93, when you had this guy called Nesbitt.
Matonda.
Nesbitt, Matondo, Farai, Chizungu, and that team for me was the greatest team ever. Because when I watched them play, they were just unbeatable. They were so good. But this is the problem. It's just what I saw myself. But was that the greatest team?
I don't think that was the peak.
You
There
said-
were
yeah.
teams. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
better, but I mean, it's a tradition. It was a tradition of excellence, if I were
Yeah.
to say. But I mean, but we have had all sorts of
Is
teams.
there a team which went
Oh, yeah.
further than
Oh
any
yeah,
other
teams
team?
would win national
Legend.
national championships. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
On your first question about what.
So for example,
Yeah.
just to continue my question. So just to explain, so if somebody is able, or a number of people are able to write a piece about this great basketball team, for example, some people they might be interested in sports, or are we gonna write about? There was this football team with this guy Sesengwa.
Yafunza.
Yeah,
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 unfortunately,
Rafunzwa,
yeah.
some of these guys who could have become like Ronaldo or Mbappe, but they didn't go. They didn't get international. So that team, I remember we used to go to. At one point, I went myself to there was this other SDA church towards Mutare. Is it a place towards Mutare, between Maran and Mutare, between Maran and Mutare? Was it Murewa? Was Murewa? We used to. Was there?
Yeah.
There was Murewa High. Is it?
Yeah, it's a
Murewa
Methodist
Estate.
church.
Yeah,
so,
we used to go play those, and they would be winning like 5-0. The team was so good. So, are we encouraging people to come up with?
That's
things?
exactly what we're trying to capture.
Yeah.
Every generation has a story to tell,
story
and
to tell.
every generation has so many stories about their teams. So we want, like I mentioned, we want this whole thing to develop a life of its own.
Yeah.
I don't want to even try and categorize exactly. We want it to be as spontaneous as we possibly can capture it, and as much as as much as people are willing to write and tell their stories, so will be the. I foresee a situation maybe we could be publishing volume 2 and 3 in the same year because of the amount of stories coming in, and I know we have a lot of dedicated people who are willing to edit and write and all that, and we want as many people to come and be part of this.
And also the fact that a person should write what they are feeling like writing.
Yeah.
From their own experience.
Yeah.
We, the editorial team, will then sort out which ones are factual, which ones are experiential, or some poetry. Someone might just decide to write a poem, and we will categorize poems there. And another aspect of this story, we have a story in this book in Shona. There's one story which is completely in Shona.
Yes.
And I remember some people were like, why are we, who's going to read that story? But you will do realize that after 100 years, someone might, if the way people sometimes just pick up English and so on, they might forget that, this is how Shona was written.
Yeah.
So this book is for posterity as well.
Yeah.
So people can look back and say, oh, this is how
Things used to be.
our language
Yeah.
was written. And a lot of children being born overseas here, US, UK, Australia, South Africa, some of these kids will say, oh, I learned, my parents came from Zimbabwe, they speak a language called Shona, but they've never had anywhere to read anything written in Shona. So we have a story by Doji Kamangira. It's a short story. Well, it's a narration of his experience. It's in Shona. And if you have a problem understanding Shona, you can Google. Google Translate will help you.
Yeah.
Now
So-
you can translate it.
So that is covered about language. So people should just feel free. When it comes to volume 2, volume 1, someone did say, this book, it sounds like it was written by the children of Wabvui. It's all good behavior and everything.
Yeah.
But this is volume 1. You know, we had to make the book start off on a...
We had to
On
start
a
somewhere.
good-
We had to start
We had to
somewhere.
start somewhere.
So
Yeah.
volume 2 will be loaded.
Yes.
Yes, because we did have some stories in volume 1 which we held back because people thought that would be too controversial.
Yeah.
And
Another idea I entertained was maybe we would have a whole stream doing a whole volume. You know, I mean, I want this to be spontaneous. You know, and a whole stream could just do volume 2, then another stream could do volume 3, or
But-
another stream.
But what you realize, that's a very good idea, and that was the initial. Even when we did volume 1, that was initial. But one thing we discovered as we were doing this is people like talking their stories,
Than
but
writing.
not writing.
Yeah.
So when you ask someone to say, "Can you write down what you've just told me a wonderful story about how you did this and did that. So, oh my God, they went in, they stole mangoes or oranges from the garden. Mr. Zobo, the boarding master, came and chased us, and oh, this was a demonstration. We did this, but to actually put pen to paper is a different story. That's what we realize.
This is then when we come in and say, you know what, you can do an audio, just like we're doing, and then the transcribers will capture that and
Yes.
and
So people can contribute as an audio.
In
Yeah.
audio, yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
if, it's,
yeah.
if you can't
Okay.
find the time to write, just do an
an
audio.
audio, yeah.
Yeah, we will transcribe it. That's something that we did on some of the
We
stories.
could actually even post it on the website, an audio stories.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay,
Yeah.
podcaster.
Yeah.
All right. Whilst you're still on
Well,
that,
yeah.
I'm looking back. I think it was in 2013, 2014. There was a demonstration at Hadsel High School. I think it went for 2 or 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. I think you guys, if you were there at that time, these are some of the stories we just want to collect
Yeah.
for future references. Like some people can just read what were your grievances, guys. What was going on? What gave you the tenacity to stay out demonstration for 2 solid days? And I heard some of the kids went to the police, this and that, this and that. Those were involved.
You'll be
Bring-
surprised.
bring out the
They
stories.
were worse demonstrations than the one you're talking
Before
about.
this
Oh
one.
yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
yeah.
Yeah, those stories, isn't it?
Oh yeah. It will make very interesting reading. I'm telling you. Yeah.
There's many stories.
Oh yeah.
that
Yeah.
and we want those background stories.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah.
who
Who
was
was
who
chief
the
engineers?
Who had that kind of
The
courage?
so-called ringleaders.
So
I remember when the demonstration that happened during our time.
Yeah.
I think it was the one that removed Mr. Mbwegezenge and brought in Mr. Mafondo Goto, Reverend Mafondo Goto. And I remember, you were asked. I think we were all given these forms to fill in.
yeah.
And you were supposed to say what
Your grievances.
You were supposed to say who you had seen or something like that.
Yes.
And my father gave me mine, was written none.
Oh,
Oh, he did it for you.
Thank you for you.
It was written none, and I just okay.
yeah.
Didn't even feel in anything.
So it's interesting. I just wanted to ask a question. So the viewers, do they know where to post these audios
Stories.
or the written stories, audios, whatever they want to post? Is there a repository where they can actually go and upload all these?
Yes, it is on the email to send your stories is story@talesofOldMutare.com. It's on the poster here, and we can get in touch, and then we can via the email contact us via
By
the email,
and then we can.
and then we can arrange so that
Assist you.
you can send it via because
Other
usually if
forums,
it's an
yeah.
audio, it will be a big volume. There's
Be transferred.
so you need to make an arrangement about that. So I don't know if there's any part of the discussion, anything.
Yeah. I wanted to reiterate what you said earlier on. Like some of these stories, they are not limited to any particular grouping of people. Like former students can share their experiences, and you also added that it could be a factual experiential story or some other data that maybe one found on the internet concerning how the school came about, how the mission came about, and all those stuff. In particular interest to me, I also want to hear stories by people who stayed at this place during the war period. Was the situation volatile at that place, or was it a protected, specially protected place, with it being a mission? Were there soldiers patrolling from the government of the day, or maybe liberation fighters? Did they come and take students and take them to the war front? What was really going on? Like these are some of the stories that will also make a good reading
Yes,
for
very,
us.
very good. Yeah. And I'm also thinking about that's really useful, to be honest with you. I'm also thinking about these other celebrities that we have that came from this wonderful school.
Yes.
I think we need to reach them like Mtambara.
Yes.
You need to contribute.
Yes.
Yeah. I hope you'll
Yes.
be able to come across this this video.
And
This recording.
there's also Tsitsida
Ngaremba, there's a lot of them. One day we hope they can
Simba
come.
Makoni
Yeah.
and many
Feel like these
others.
people
many others.
contribute.
So, yeah.
Their stories.
Ruben Baro.
Ruben
Oh
Baro.
yeah,
There's a lot.
I'm told it was there's so
Very
many.
influential. We've come
Dr.
Yes.
Mawumva, there's so many.
Yeah, because it will be so important for marketing purposes. It can be very, very useful as well. Because if we say, oh, this volume 3 featuring stories from Tsitsida Ngaremba
Yes.
and Tambara, it creates so much
Hype
sense.
and excitement.
Yeah. So if they come across this recording, to be very good if they can either reach the
Another aspect that is in this book that's unique about our book, or you see the artwork on the book, the title there, picture. This is the famous Mount Chiremba, which is the backdrop of Old Mutare Mission. Inside, we had the choice to make whether we were should we use photographs or how should we, what artwork should we use?
Adopt, yeah.
And we looked at the history of Old Mutare. Hartzell particularly has a good history with art.
Yeah.
Dr. Johnson, the Whitfields,
Guys like Hammarskjöld.
yeah, some of
Those were students.
Students.
We were talking about the teachers.
the
yeah.
teachers, yeah. So that tradition of artwork led us to request one of these former Hartzell students. His name is Tino Chimbadzwa, and he did some fantastic work and
Yes,
produced some very good drawings or illustrations, paintings, which are all over the book. So you will find artwork like this one. Can we get a zoom in on this picture? If a photographer is watching, it's
It's all right.
okay. So, so this is what we did with Volume 1. We focused a lot on artwork, painting. So Volume 2, we might have a different route. We might find more artwork. We would welcome
Pictures.
different artists. Anyone who feels they can contribute artwork to Volume 2, that would be very good. Pictures of the former students, anything to do with whatever story they're writing. That's something that we want to add into Volume 2. And you'll see at the back of the book, you can even see Dr. Ralph Nyotio, or at this time he was still called Raru. And many of us,
long back.
we are in this once upon a time. I'm there. I found myself in one of these pictures.
You see, that's what I was thinking. You see, Dinga, you see, like this, in the other volumes, we could have a section which is titled Once Upon a Time inside the book. So it doesn't need to be like this. Or we could have section in there that is folded, that folds out, and it's Once Upon a Time. It's got lots of pictures and people can identify themselves.
Yeah, and that's another
We
thing.
have
People can
another
actually
one.
send in their pictures,
Yeah.
and we can actually post them on the website as well.
Yeah, we're going to have another page here.
It's
that
a
is got-
compendium of pictures
Yeah.
over the years of what what was
and another
happening
page
in that.
here that
Yeah.
has got the genealogy of headmasters. Fonokoto will be there and all this. And you can see the headmasters from 1960. You can see up to the present one. But that needs a bit of research. You can have a tree diagram of the.
We also have at the appendix
So that is-
the residential information where
Right.
people used to live.
That's
So you
interesting.
find that Mandisodza, Marshall section, Villa section,
The best of them all, hospital section.
and hospital section.
Okay, why was the Mandisoza section called Mandisoza?
It was named after
One of the earliest
early pastors, early
Yes.
reverends, whatever.
one of the first ministers, black ministers.
Black minister.
Yeah.
Yes, he was called Reverend Mandisodza.
Mandisoza.
Yeah.
And there was also Reverend Darikwa.
Yeah,
he
they
was the
used to be
first
young.
one, I think, one of the first ones to get married in
Yeah.
the
In the
I think as
church.
early as 1905,
Yeah.
something
Wow.
like that. Yeah. So it's very historical. Aren't you?
Yes. Oh yeah, certainly.
I also want to acknowledge some of these guys who have contributed to this team, because for us to have this project, it's been teamwork.
Yes.
And we have people like Jonah Doja, Shupikai Noisy, Tapiwa Story was the editor of this book. There was also Rudobinge Pinge who did some primary editing as well. There's Wimbai here, myself, Dinga, then there's Ralph, Dr. Ralph Nyotiwa, Ndoji Kamangira, Tapu Anzara, my brother Farai, Tariro Oswald, Rudo Chifamba, Ni Kanjanda, Rudo Kanjanda, and then there's Chido Johnson. I'm sure people from my generation remember him very well. Then there's Deg Chidanika, Washington Sesengwa, Godfrey, and Rufaro. have come in, especially in the latter stage of our project. They are the main drivers of our marketing and promotion of the book. So, yes, yeah. So that's our team, and there's also Namata Mkono and Farai Namaju as well. They're also part of the team. Yeah. So that's what we can say. So if you haven't got this book, by all means, get into our project, support us.
Can I ask a question? If somebody is buying the book because they like the stories, but because also they want to contribute to the cause, to improve the infrastructure, to help with some funds, if they are interested in knowing how far that has gone into that, to the funds raised so far, is that information somewhere where people can see it?
It will be on our website. Our website is going through its final stages of development. So any information that is relevant for the public will be posted on there. So this is a not for profit project. So everything that we are generating is going into the production of the following volumes, into the administration work, and also the remainder of it is going into Old Mutare projects.
Okay, my last question then. So if they want to buy the book, but they want to contribute more, this is found on Amazon. I think I remember I bought it on Amazon. So on Amazon you won't get the option to contribute more because this would be fixed price.
Yes.
Is there the website? Is there a sales section on the website where somebody can pay more than the price or contribute something if they want? If they so feel like.
If anyone wants to contribute towards this project, and they can contact us via that email, story@talesofOldMutare.com, and then we will provide the banking details to supply their contribution. Another thing I want to raise is that we are focused on particularly the book, right? There is Old Mutare itself, and there's many groups like HOSA. We are not parallel, or we are also doing work towards HADSO. So we work together with HOSA and HOBA and all those groups. We are part and parcel of the whole that everyone is doing to develop, to redevelop, to refurbish Old Mutare mission. So if someone wants to do something towards Old Mutare, they can communicate with any one of those groups. If they want to do it through us, Tales of Old Mutare, we are also able to handle that. So that's what I can say.
Okay. The last question then is, are you going to create a website where it's more like a GoFundMe kind for Tales of Old Mutare, where somebody can log in and they will see Tales of Old Mutare, funds contributed so far.
I think that's an idea that we can entertain and
ask for details.
It's an idea we can.
That's another
way of looking at.
Besides, as we go into volume 2, we've learned lessons from volume 1, and we do need new ideas and such contributions and such ideas.
Something like that.
Welcome aboard.
to the team.
Yeah. But on that again, I want to encourage all the viewers to become part of this movement.
Yes,
Because
yes,
this is going to end up being a movement. It's bigger than us.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
It's bigger than...
Certainly.
I was not part of the volume 1, but now just going through some of those stories, you know, the human mind is just one fantastic thing. Because I thought I had forgotten all about the mission days at Hudson.
Okay.
But the moment I read those books, all the memory just came flooding
Right.
back.
Alright.
And looking back, it's all still vivid and fresh in my mind.
Yes.
Like, even on the day we went up Chiremba Mountain, usually it's done in October, November after exams,
After exams,
as you
yeah.
know. But then being part of the team that went up the mountain, I can still recollect how it felt like.
Yeah.
All the smells, all the whatever we were
Sounds,
going through,
yeah.
all the sounds,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are still registered in my mind.
What did you go there to do?
It was just after
After exams,
exams.
yeah, it was like an
And
anticlimax of
you
having
become
written exams
idols
and all.
to
So
out. I have many stories.
this is
In fact,
interesting. It's interesting. I'll tell you, it's so interesting because
yeah,
what you're saying, you have got a first page,
yes,
a front page, that shows a massive mountain with a building looking very tiny. And the
Yes.
first thing your mind is drawn to that day.
yes, that's true.
Guess what that picture
That's to others.
did to me?
Yes,
What that picture did to me was I didn't do what you guys did.
yes,
We used to go up the mountain to pray
oh,
with the Zwangi,
yes,
with the Mufudza,
yes,
in some very serious, you know what? If there was a time when I could easily gone up to heaven like Elijah.
yes,
I
yeah,
was so, you know, I used to, if I looked at a woman in the room, I used to ask forgiveness.
Wow.
I was almost like
like a saint.
So I'm saying, a monk. I wanted to say monk, but I said monk is not Christian.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that mountain, I'm thinking, I was saying it to my wife. I said, you know what? We used to go after 7, around 7, 8,
Yes.
totally dark.
Yeah,
There was lots of massive
Undergrowth.
cobras
Yes.
and what is the other, that long snake, what is it called?
pythons.
No, the other one. That's not
Black
it's like a
mamba.
Black mambas.
Yeah,
Very poisonous. They could bite you and you could be dead in 15, 20 minutes. But we used to go through very narrow, we used to walk along very narrow, and we were still, no, I wasn't
In the
as
dark?
tall as I was, in the dark, and we would go up there to the mountain. I remember the leaders, Zwange, Mufudza, and some of us. And then when we got to the top, we would spread out, and then one would be here, and you're just you're kneeling here, and you've got tall grass all over you.
yes,
And I was thinking about it and saying, how did I used to do that without really thinking about the consequences?
yeah,
But that picture, just the front page, that's
Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how many other people have got different stories.
That's another thing on volume 1. They because I spent a lot of my time in high school. I was part of UMYF. And in volume 1, I didn't write anything to do with UMYF.
yes,
But it was something that I thought, okay, maybe when we get to volume 2, we can write these religious experiences that
Yeah.
we had. Because some of us, like you're saying, we used to go up there in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Well, our parents didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
We were going up, and anyway, many students used to go up the mountain for different reasons. Saturday night. And different reasons. But we from Methodist or SU and UMI used to go at the top of the mountain, and we would pray and come
1
back
hour for prayer.
1
Each
hour,
person
2
in
hours.
there.
I would also want to hear the other stories.
Yeah,
I can't wait for volume 2 and volume 3 and volume 4. Yeah. It's
Different
exciting,
stories.
yeah.
Even the revivals that used to happen.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
yeah.
Kashari?
Reverend Kashari,
yeah.
The
Reverend
one who used to
Kampira.
throw Kampira, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Oh,
one
yeah.
who used to throw jazz, told students to throw things in the air. I've forgotten what his name was, but
Yeah,
I think he was invited by SU, I think.
Yeah, for me,
I remember the guy. Munowenyo,
I
yeah.
think there was and then my Binge, I remember
Right, yeah,
Reverend Gigita and
Right.
Reverend.
It was a whole coterie of.
For me,
of
one
amazing.
one
preachers.
reference
Yeah.
stands out.
Mhm.
His name was Reverend Mpindu.
Yes.
Alright.
He was so powerful.
Yes,
Even his
yes.
husky voice, the way he was using it to
Yeah.
preach the word. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
It
Those
was
were
an
very-
I
amazing,
remember-
nurturing place for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And we want to hear those stories. We want to
Yeah.
hear those stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it carried some of us. It carried us even when we went to the uni.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember the best days in uni, for your own information,
Mm.
was the days for you year 1, year 2 at uni, when we were hiring the minibuses, going to Nyanga. Do you remember?
Yeah.
All these guys.
Yeah.
VMI, very powerful organization,
Mm.
putting people, bringing people together, like-minded people together, and keeping us away from mischief.
Yeah.
It was really, really instrumental because when you're year 1, year 2, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
there's
it-
a lot that did it for us. It did for us. This
Yeah,
place.
and the Lord, you know, when we had the swimming pool, you know, I had a story in there where I nearly had an accident.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a backflip. I'd
Yeah.
seen it on the Olympics, you know, and so I wanted
Don't
to
try this at home.
Don't try it at home. I tried to do a backflip. I went on the diving board, and then I did my backflip, and but I didn't push myself away.
From
So
the
I
board.
just went up
From the
and
board.
just
Oh.
scraped on my shoulder
Wow.
And then
the
yeah,
diving board,
Oh.
and then in the water there,
Mm.
I could see people as I was coming back up.
Yeah.
I could see people running towards the
Oh.
the
The
spot
board.
where I was, you know.
Yeah.
And then I surfaced, and everybody's like relieved that, you know, are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, okay.
I'm a stuntman.
Yeah. And when I think about how the swimming pool was so an integral part of our growing up,
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And-
a
but
lot of stories
all,
around that.
but during all our time, I don't know other generations. We never had any accident, any sad story. I don't know other generations, but during our time, there's no mishaps. Like you're saying, we walked through the mountain where in the snakes, never encountered a snake
Never
in
stepped
anything.
on a snake.
And this was middle of night, young kids going up on mountains and
Flying, singing the
yeah,
face of the
and,
Lord. Yeah,
and,
that was
and
amazing.
God kept us and looked after us and
So so imagine then if we could all contribute, all the alumni contribute, and imagine a time when that swimming pool is brought back to full use with all the facilities. Imagine a time when you can go to that basketball coach and find basketball place and find a new basketball, arena with the fences, new
Lightning.
facilities,
Yeah.
lighting, and all that. Imagine.
What you're saying is very critical because, you know, for example, the Bible says where there's no vision, people perish. Other versions say, you know, people cast off restraint. You know, people need something to rally around. So there has to be a vision cast. This is what we're doing. We're building a house. We're building whatever, and then it's gonna cost so much, and this is how much we're gonna need. And then when the vision is clear, then the resources will flow.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're hoping people are gonna rally around this great cause, so that we can make Old Mutare the great place. Yeah, the great place. Anyone.
Trump is saying we're making America great again.
Yeah.
We want to make
Hartselle great
Old
again.
Mutare great again. Yeah. Not that it's not great, but
We have to make it
greater. Yeah.
So what we
Top in
want
academia.
basketball
Oh,
pitch,
yeah.
Top in academia,
Yeah.
top in sports,
A new
top
library.
in history. What
Yeah,
it used to
even
be
the
in-
accommodation. You know,
Yeah.
if we're going to retain great stuff, you know, academic stuff or whichever realm of operation or Old Mutare, we just need to up our game in terms
imagine
of
the clinic. It was not so big. but it was such a center.
Oh yeah, it
of,
helped
excellence.
thousands
So
of
many
people.
people
Yeah.
from all over.
Yeah.
People would travel 20
Yeah, I
kilometers,
know.
30 kilometers.
I know. My mom was a nurse,
because-
and
yeah,
yeah.
Because
yeah.
there used to be these foreign doctors who would be coming from America, offering free like dentists, free opticians.
Dental care, yeah.
And and there's a lot of things that used to happen there that never used some services that you wouldn't get from anywhere else. So you can imagine if a day when a refurbished or maybe new clinic can be put there, and you know,
Well,
that's where we are.
It's
working.
been lovely having you, Alex.
Thank you so
It's
much,
been
Mr.
lovely, Wimbai. It's been lovely, Perkins.
Oh, thank
talking
you.
about
Thank you,
good
Dina.
times and
Yes, thank you, Alex.
how-
Yeah.
Thank you so
what-
much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
What
Thank
this
you, Wimbai.
project
Thank you.
is, and
Yeah.
we are only a fragment of the whole team, and be a part of what we're doing. It's not about us. It's about the work that was done when Bishop Hudson arrived and said, "Oh, if anyone has been sent by God to do this work," and he done it more than 100 years later, it's been doing what it was created to do.
Yeah.
And it's our part to make it do even more, so that the next 100 years, you know, it's a shining jewel that continues to do God's work in the midst of Zimbabwe, in the midst of Africa, amongst our people. Thank you so much for tuning in and being with us today. This is
Tales of Old Mutare.
Tales of Old Mutare, Volume 1, going into Volume 2.
2,
So
3,
Volume
4,
2
5, 6.
Volume 2 is underway. Start sending in your stories now. Thank you. God bless. Good night, good day, wherever you are. Merry Christmas or Happy Easter, whichever time of the year you see this video.
Yeah.
All God's blessings to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Josie.